Man, this boss is boring. Vorasius is the second boss in the Voidspire raid, and I gotta be honest, it's not an interesting one. My name's Odie, and let's get into it. Vorasius is another solo boss fight with adds that spawn every 2 minutes, starting 1 minute into the fight. Most DPS classes will be able to hit 3 to 4 adds at a time, with spread AoE classes being able to hit all of them. The adds don't live long, so you'll mainly want to be single target spec. This fight is very reminiscent of Taros from Vault of the Incarnates, a mostly single target boss fight where the boss is positioned off platform and can't be moved. The boss also does very high unavoidable raid wide damage for an early tier boss fight, and otherwise has very simple mechanics that don't really overlap. The boss really only has 3 mechanics that you interact with: a tank soak that spawns dodge rings and walls, fixate adds that must be killed on the walls to break them, and a rotating beam that kills you if you haven't broken the walls to run away. Besides those mechanics that you actually have to do something for, the boss casts a knockback to start each cycle of mechanics that does large sonic damage. You probably don't want to defensive this if possible, because you're going to need to save your defensives for the adds. The boss will alternate a slam circle on the left and right side 4 times that the tanks have to soak. Each soak does raid-wide shadow damage and has 2 effects that the raid needs to be aware of. The first 2 soaks will spawn a wall on each side of the room, effectively cutting off the edges of the room. These walls come into play later with the adds. The other effect is that each soak spawns dodge rings similar to P3 Nexus King or Kurog from the Vault of the Incarnates. Melee can simply step into the soak circle immediately after it goes off to dodge all the rings. An important note: on testing, the rings did not extend outward forever, meaning ranged players could stand max distance to never have to dodge the rings. I expect that this will probably get changed on live because that's just trivializing the mechanic. After the soaks, the boss will spawn adds that fixate random players and 1 tank. You can invis, vanish, or bubble the adds to make them retarget, but there's not really any benefit unless you're about to die. Both the adds spawning and the circle that explodes after their death does massive raid-wide shadow damage that you need to plan your defensives around. You need to kill the adds on the walls in order to break them with your circle so you can dodge the beam afterwards. For Heroic, you need to kill 2 adds on each wall, and since Heroic wasn't retested, I don't know exactly how many adds are going to spawn. Okay, listen up. It is significantly easier to handle the adds if you don't DPS them the moment they spawn. Yes, that means you, Boomkins.
They're not even people. I hate them. I hate Boomkin players.
Let them fixate a player, kite to the wall, and get at least 3 on each side before you start doing damage. Then group them up, CC them, and kill them. DPSing them too early will just lead to killing them in the middle of the room, which is going to wipe the raid to the beam. You have 2 options for how to kill the adds. You can either single target them and stagger their deaths so you don't die to the damage, or you could kill multiple of them at once and pop a bunch of heal CDs. The final interactive mechanic is the beam. The boss will lean back and glow a hand to indicate which side the beam is going to start on. Just move to the other side and stack for healing. Afterwards, the fight simply restarts. Yeah, it's that simple. By the way, most of the abilities on this fight do shadow damage, so if you have magic damage reduction talents, those will be very strong here. The only differences on Mythic are related to the adds. 7 adds will now spawn and you need to kill 3 on each wall to break them. When the adds die, they will leave a puddle on the ground that will grow to about 20 yards. This makes it extremely valuable to kill the adds as far back in the room as possible to save space. Here are the timings for the fight. Feel free to pause the video, but the link will also be down in the description. This fight is so simple that we've already really hit on every point of strategy, so I'm just going to list them quickly. Plan your defensives around the adds and beam. Range, stand max distance to trivialize the dodge rings. Don't DPS adds until they're on the walls. On Mythic, kill the adds as far back in the room as possible, and stack as much as you can for healing. And honestly guys, that's it for non-tanks and healers. If you liked the video, follow me on Twitch where I'll be streaming keys and progression once the patch hits live. Feel free to put any comments down below to help make these videos better, as I'm trying to increase my content creation skills. This is very possible to be a 5 heal fight early on, similar to Lumathar, due to the high unavoidable raid-wide damage. Since every mechanic on this fight does massive raid-wide damage, you're going to want a solid plan of healer CDs before you go into the encounter. It's also going to be a good idea to always save 1 healer external for a tank in case they need it for soaking. It's hard to tell exact fight length in testing due to differences in item level and potential boss health changes on live, but plan heal CDs and defensives to handle 3 cycles of mechanics, and hopefully you only have to do 2. In addition to the unavoidable hits, the boss also does raid-wide shadow damage every 2 seconds that stacks every time you cast the knockback at the start of each cycle of mechanics. Unfortunately, it can be pretty difficult to stack the raid for healing due to all of the various movement mechanics happening, so you're going to have to find out what works best for you and your team's strategy that you're implementing. Tanks, you guys really only have one job on this fight. Soak. Each soak does both shadow and physical damage, and the first 2 soaks that will spawn the walls also give the tank a 150% physical damage taken increase for 2 minutes. We found the easiest way to handle this was to have one tank take the first 2 soaks and therefore all of the vulnerability debuff. This allowed the other tank to soak the remaining soaks without using any defensives. If you are tanking the first 2 soaks, you should plan to have a defensive or an external for the second soak, since you will already have the 150% damage taken increase.